Hi everyone, this is Kassie and these are the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of October 24 to October the 13th. If you enjoy my videos and the way I interpret the cards, you can like, share and of course subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss anything that I upload. The deck we are going to use today is the 4th edition of the Alchemical Tarot, and what's very special about this deck is that it contains two different cards for the Lover's card, one that has been censored in the previous editions and another one that the designer decided to include in later editions. If you want to have a personal and very detailed tarot reading with me, one in which we can examine your situation, the influences, the possible outcomes and everything else you would like to ask the cards, you can always find me on my website, my psychic platform www.kassikai.com, where you will always get 3 free minutes with your subscription and extra free minutes every month. But let's see what this week has in store for us. For Aries, we had the 9 of Pentacles last week and now it's the 4 of Swords. The 9 of Pentacles is a card of independence. It shows that you are getting very close to your goals, or maybe you have even achieved a goal last week, something that made you feel very confident, very good about where you're at the moment. And the 9 of Pentacles is also strongly associated with practical matters, with your career, with financial matters, with how we organize our everyday life. So maybe last week you were dealing with all those areas of your life, or one of those areas was very prominent. And now we have the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords is an air card and it is one of the less active swords, meaning that this is a card of rest, of recuperation, of breaks. So you may decide to take a time out, to take a break from a situation, from a relationship, especially if things have become too intense. And intensity is a key word for the following weeks, especially because we have the eclipses, the eclipse season, which will be very intense for most of us. So maybe this week you will decide to take a break, to take a breather before you start getting involved with too many things, with too many different energies. Now, as we can see in the card, there's this man who's sitting in a meditative position with the 4 swords behind him. And what this basically means is that this week you will not resolve all your issues. You will probably decide to let them rest for a while so that you gain a better and maybe a different perspective on how things are. Now, if you're wondering how someone is feeling about you, it appears that this person is taking a break because they need to figure out exactly how they feel, and they need to figure out what they want to do about your relationship. Also, 4s represent the end of a stage, which means that the stage has already been completed in your relationship, and soon a new chapter will begin. For some of you, the 4 of Swords may represent a break from a relationship, so you may decide to get some space, to take some time and put things in a different perspective. And that's usually a temporary break, not a final ending. And Thursday seems to be a significant day for you. You will feel that you are getting your strength back, your energy back. And don't forget that the 4 of Swords is astrologically is Jupiter in Libra. And Libra represents our relationships, communications and balance, while Jupiter is an expansive energy, an expansive planet. And that means you will experience growth in all those areas of your life. Your relationships will start progressing. But also Libra represents beauty, And that's why Jupiter will grant you charm and charisma this week. You will look your best. And so if you want to get someone's attention or you have an interview, you will surely be noticed under this energy, under this influence. So this is a great energy that will allow you to get along with other people, and you will find that others are treating you in a more equal way, in a more fair way. That's why this is a good week to ask for a favor. The timeline of the Four of Swords is between the 13th and the 22nd October, and that's previous week. So perhaps something came to a halt last week, something came to a stop. So something that started last week or something that happened last week will come to a halt this week. You will come to a stop. Or you will be able to relax and allow some energies and allow some difficult energies to be released, especially when it comes to your communications. For Taurus, we had the Hermit, and now it's the Ace of Cups. The Hermit you got last week is a very introspective energy. It puts you in a mode that's rather solitary. You are not very social, you are not very open to conversations, to social interactions. You need some time for yourself, and maybe that's exactly what you decided to do last week, to take some distance from someone or from a situation in order to find your own truth and your own solutions. Because the Hermit is a card of solutions. The Hermit holds a lantern in his hand, and the lantern represents clarity, ideas, solutions. Also, the Hermit is a person in your life who's a Virgo sun or ascendant, and maybe this person has had something to do with your decisions last week, and maybe they were involved one way or another in the solution you were seeking. Now the energy is changing with the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a love card, a romance card, and it's a new beginning as all aces. So the vibe changes this week and you will feel more romantic, more social, more friendly. All relationships are favored under the energy of this ace because this could be a new beginning in a relationship or a second chance. So perhaps you will decide to give someone a second chance, or someone else will decide to give you a second chance, and they will open a new door for you. Aces often manifest as opportunities, as new energy, new doors that are opening for us. And when it comes to feelings, the Ace of Swords indicates that someone has positive feelings for you, they like you. Something that started as a friendship may get more romantic now, or you may have a friend with benefits this week. It's all about how you want to feel now, and this week you will want to make more positive thoughts and feel more positive feelings. A burst of new emotions will make you feel really good, and that's because you will probably receive a heartfelt message or a very nice gift. If you've been expecting news about a relationship or health or even pregnancy, news will be good. You may also receive an invitation to a party where you may meet a new love interest or someone that you will feel attracted to. For Gemini, we had the Tower, and now it's the Chariot. The Tower is a disruptive energy. It's a card that foretells changes that can be disruptive and shocking, unexpected. So perhaps you were dealing with such a change last week, something that shocked you, you learned something or you experienced something that shook you one way or another. But at the same time, the Chariot shows the truth of a situation. No one can hide, no one can lie under the energy of the Tower. So if a situation was confusing or you felt that someone wasn't honest with you, I'm sure that last week you must have had the opportunity to see the situation as it really is. Now the Chariot you got this week is a different vibe because it's a card of control, it's a card of effort. So what you will be doing this week is to try and regain control in case that you lost it last week. If you notice the card, it shows two horses. The Chariot has two horses. and each one of them looks in different direction. Now, what this basically means is that there are conflicting energies around you, probably conflicting needs, conflicting expectations. Someone will not agree with you. So you will have to find a way, like this charioteer, to reconcile those differences and to make compromises and to find some common ground so that control is maintained. The chariot can manifest as unexpected traveling or as ambiguous messages that can come unexpectedly. If you want to know how someone feels about you, keep in mind that the chariot is associated with the sign of Cancer, and usually Cancerians are very guarded when it comes to their feelings. They are doing that for many reasons, but primarily because they want to protect themselves and they want to protect their feelings. Which means that the person you're interested in does have feelings for you, but they are hiding them because they feel that's the best they can do at the moment, and because they are afraid that if they express their feelings, maybe you will take advantage of them in some way, or maybe things will turn out to be risky for them. In any case, there's a lot of insecurity involved and fear, so it's best that you don't push them to express those feelings, because that will put them in a resistance mode. The chariot has the number 7 of major arcana, which means that this energy will last for the coming 7 days. And also the end of the week, Saturday and Sunday, seems to hold the strongest energy. For Cancer, we had the 8 of Pentacles and now it's the 5 of Swords. The 8 of Pentacles is a very grounding energy, a very stable, solid card that points to practical matters, our career, our finances, but also the practical aspects of a relationship. So maybe you were dealing with the practical issues around the relationship or in your professional environment, and you had to resolve some practical matters, some practical issues needed your attention. But in any case, the 8 of Pentacles gives you the chance to improve something, to make something better, and to make progress in a project or in a relationship, to take it to the next stage, to the next level. Now, you got the 5 of Swords this week, which admittedly is a rather disruptive card. It's a card of contrasts, fights, disagreements, and it's very possible that those disagreements will be somehow related to what happened last week, to a practical issue that hasn't been resolved as you hoped, and it's possible there will be some disagreements. Maybe you're keeping negative emotions within you, or you're mad at someone and you weren't expressing those thoughts, those feelings before. But now something will trigger you and there might be a fight. So it's very possible this week to choose your battles carefully and fight only those that you can win. This week you will probably have to make some compromises if you want to avoid the full-on battle with someone. If you want to know how they feel about you, this person may be playing mind games with you, being passive-aggressive and manipulative. There must be power struggles in your relationship, and since the 5 of Swords is an air card, an air is communications, it's speech, it's the way we express our thoughts. It's very possible that this person is very good with words, and one way or another they have fooled you in the past. Now, if you want to avoid that and you don't want that to happen again, it's very important to show them that you know what they're doing and to draw some boundaries. The 5 of Swords is Venus in Aquarius, and Venus in Aquarius is a detached placement for Venus. When it comes to relationships this week, you may not be too emotional. That's a good thing probably, especially if you found yourself wearing rose-tinted glasses all the time and not being able to see things as they really are. This week you will get the chance to have a clearer vision, a clearer picture of how a situation is unfolding. The strong day of this week will probably be Friday. And another thing that may happen under this energy, Venus in Aquarius energy, is that you may meet someone who's very different, very eccentric, someone who will catch your eye, and you may start with them an unconventional or a very unusual relationship. For Leo, we had the World, and now it's the Nine of Cups. The World signifies completion. It shows that the stage has been completed. Something you wanted came to a head, and that could be related to foreign countries or people who live in foreign countries. So if it's a professional situation, maybe you had to deal with a partner who's abroad, or if it's personal, maybe you are in a long-distance relationship and you made some plans or you made an agreement, and that opened up new possibilities and potential to take the next step. Now with the Nine of Cups this week, you will feel satisfied with the progress you've made, and an opportunity will present itself that will show a change of direction, can now bring great satisfaction and personal fulfillment, and you will notice that other people will give you praise and you will give you their approval. A wonderful news is coming your way, and it's a time to celebrate your progress or positive developments you have experienced the last week. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, the Nine of Cups indicates that they feel very satisfied with your relationship, they are happy to connect with you, and they feel they have a strong connection with you. If you are talking about a personal connection, it appears that this person wants to work with you, and they have big dreams and big goals and high goals for your business or whatever type of professional relationship you are in. Or if it's a personal relationship, you will find that you feel very attracted to each other, and the spark and sexual energies are very strong. The Nine of Cups is Jupiter in Pisces, which seems to be one of the very significant transits of this year. It means that the 2022 is a very significant year for you, especially when it comes to connecting with others, to your personal relationships, because it shows great potential for healing. And if you want to smooth over and sweeten up a relationship, that can happen this week, which, by the way, will give you a glimpse of what to expect in the coming months. Pisces is a very psychic sign, and with Jupiter there, expect that your psychic abilities will be strong, and you may get a telepathic message, or you may have a prophetic dream this week. And in general, your intuition will be very strong, so you can trust that your heart will guide you to the right direction. Now, the Nine of Cups is called the Wish card in Tarot, and that means that this week a wish will come true. It doesn't have to be something big or an earth-shattering change, but it can be a wish you had and a dream you had, big or small, that will materialize within 9 days from now. For Virgo, we had the Queen of Wands, and now it's the Two of Swords. Now, the Queen of Wands is a very active and energetic energy, so you were too busy last week, you wanted to get things done, or someone who was very active, someone who's a fire sign or ascendant person, Leo, Aries or Sagittarius. There must have been significant developments last week, things were busy. But this week the vibe is changing with the Two of Swords, because the Two of Swords is a card of hesitation, of uncertainty. This week you will probably feel more hesitant and maybe uncertain and less determined than last week with the Queen of Wands. It's very possible you will start a negotiation or you will come to an agreement with someone. And if there has been a conflict, this week the way you deal with it will test the quality of your relationship. And it will also question your expectation and your needs, which should be examined or re-examined in order to see if there is common ground with another person. It's clear that you have made efforts for something and for too long probably, but you still haven't got the results that you want. So it's possible you will decide to take a step back and reflect on things and think about whether you want to go ahead with something or you prefer to look for more suitable options. You will get the chance to work on your differences with another because you can now see clearly that you don't see things in the same way. And you either accept the situation as is, or you will find that those differences are too big to be reconciled, and you may decide to withdraw peacefully. If you want to know how someone feels about you, if there has been a contrast or an argument with them, this person has the intention to find common ground with you, to come to an agreement with you, because they do value your relationship, but maybe they find it difficult to be objective at this stage, which means that the third person could help you fix something and resolve a conflict that happened a while ago. The Two of Swords is the moon in Libra, and that means you will make equality and justice a priority in your relationships, but at the same time you may find it difficult to trust your feelings because there will be mood swings this week and emotional fluctuations, and one day you will feel that things are one way and then the next day another way, and there won't be much emotional stability. Tuesday seems to be the strong day of this week, and it's very possible that an argument that happened around the end of September may be resolved this week. For Libra, we had the Chariot last week, and now it's the Four of Cups. The Chariot is a card of control, it's a card of effort, so there must have been a situation in your life you were trying to control, maybe too hard. Maybe you had to, in some way, to reconcile differences, so you and another person must have experienced some contrasts in your relationship, either a personal or a professional relationship. But now with the Four of Cups, you will feel like taking a break, because the Four of Cups is a slow card, a passive card, and perhaps you feel that the stage has been completed and you want to slow down a little. You may find yourself feeling a little bored though, or losing interest on a situation, because the things that are being offered are not what you expect them to be. Taking distance will help you gain a new perspective on things and decide what you like about the situation and what you don't, and which the pros and cons are. Astrologically, the Four of Cups is the moon in Cancer, which means that the moon is in its house, and that means that some emotional ups and downs will be there, or you may feel a little disconnected from your emotions, confused even, and you will probably feel a little more pessimistic than usual, especially if you have already started questioning a situation, a relationship, and whether what you have is really what you want. And what you have is really important now for you, Libra. However, keep in mind that under this energy, things are usually better than they appear to be. And if you don't get stuck in negative thinking, you will find there's a hidden reserve you can tap into, and there can be a newfound inner strength that will give you the chance to make the necessary changes. And that's basically the way to move on from the energy of the Four of Cups that usually comes with some form of discontent. If you want to know how someone feels about you, there is something in your relationship that makes them feel a little apathetic. So you may want to spice things up a little and make the relationship more exciting in some way. That's especially true if you are experiencing argument after argument and the spark is gone and the fun is gone, so you may want to reassess a situation and the dynamics of it and decide what you want to do from now on. The Four of Cups puts emphasis Thursday, and that's probably the day you will experience the energies of this card the most. For Scorpio, we had the Ace of Swords, and now it's the Four of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords is a card of power, is a card of control, and it's also a card of clarity and solutions. So perhaps last week you find answer to a problem you were dealing with, or you made a new beginning, because aces always show new and fresh energy, and this ace must have put you in a position of authority, a position of power, and you are the one making decisions for the future, making plans, and maybe having the upper hand in a situation or in a relationship. Now, if your decision involved letting go of something or someone, that can be extremely difficult under the energy of the Four of Pentacles, because the Four of Pentacles is a card of possessions and it can manifest as a very controlling and possessive energy. So there might be someone who's trying to control you, as they are trying to hide their insecurities behind power struggles, or maybe you are the one who's trying to control another. And there might be some sort of stability or comfort in it, a comfort zone, especially if there are patterns that keep replaying and there is a dynamic all people involved are familiar with, which can be quite comfortable even though that's not always healthy. This week you will probably be asked to make a change that you will be very reluctant to make, and you will want to hold on to an idea, to a hope, to a specific outcome you have in mind, and that might even become an obsession in the end. If you're wondering how another is feeling about you, they are probably closed off at the moment, keeping their feelings to themselves, and they don't feel like sharing much. That's because they fear that if they express their feelings, they will lose something they have, their independence, for instance, or something else that's valuable to them. The Four of Pentacles is all about what we value and what we want to keep in our life. If you're dealing with a financial issue, the Four of Pentacles suggests that you should hold on to your money, don't spend it all, and don't take any risks. In general, that's a card of reservation. It's not about sharing and not about being exposed in any way. The Four of Pentacles is associated astrologically with Mars in Capricorn, and that's about being patient in favor of a big and long-term goal. This week you will want to maintain control and you will try to ensure that things will go your way. The days between 10 and 19 January seem to be of particular interest or significance, as then you should expect developments that will somehow be related to the current happenings and energies. The Four of Pentacles puts emphasis on Thursday, and that's the day you will experience the most of this energy. For Sagittarius, we had the Seven of Pentacles and now it's the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Pentacles is one of the cards that suggests that patience is needed, so perhaps last week you weren't able to see the results you were waiting for, or there were delays and things were moving more slowly than you'd like them to move. And perhaps there was some frustration and you were wondering whether it's worth making effort for a situation, for a relationship, or you should give it up and move on. This week you have the Seven of Cups and you are still under the influence of the energy of sevens. And what sevens basically do is that they ask us to prove that we have learned the lessons that we went through in previous numbers from the Ace to 6, and they push us towards introspection in order for us to make positive changes and to find creative solutions. Now the Ace of Cups this week will open up options for you. Although its energy is a little scattered, that means that you won't necessarily know everything you want in all of its details. You know what you want now and you are moving in that direction anyway, but you don't have to know all the specifics of it. All you need to do is to hold on to what you want and let the universe bring it to you in the appropriate form. If you want to know how someone feels about you, there are fluctuations in their feelings, there is attraction, at times it's stronger, at times it's weaker, and that will be reflected on their actions. That can be a little confusing at times. So one day they may act in one way and you feel you can figure out what they want, and then they change it completely and do something very different. However, if you know what you want, you stay on the path you decided to take and you don't sway. And that person may be an earth sign, Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn. The dates between November the 13th and November the 22nd seem to be of particular significance because something then can be transformed or resolved in some way, while Sunday appears to be the significant day of this week. Astrologically, the Seven of Cups is Venus in Scorpio, and there will be great intensity in sexual and romantic matters. There will be magnetic attraction, magnetic encounters this week, and that can transform a romantic relationship. Capricorn, we had the Seven of Wands, and now it's the Six of Swords. The Seven of Wands is a card of resistance, opposition, so perhaps your ideas, your plans met opposition, or you had to defend your views somehow. So there must have been people who did not agree with you, people who wanted to do the opposite from what you wanted. And perhaps last week was a bit intense in terms of communications. But this week you have the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords always shows a release of negative energy and shows you moving on towards a more positive direction, a more positive phase. As you can see in the card, the swords that represent the issues, your problems, things that require your attention are still with you. They accompany the boat. So it's not that all those things have been resolved, but maybe for a while you decide to let them rest and move in a different direction and see where that takes you. Astrologically, the Six of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius, and that means your thoughts are now getting faster, more intense and more forward-looking. So you will probably start thinking more about the future of the situation and less about its present or its past. And that means if the future you envision does not feel right or promising, you may decide to let it go and set sail for new shores that will probably offer other and more promising options. Options that appear to be more in tune with your current thinking and your current attitude. You will also be more diplomatic, and you will probably want to remain neutral. So if anyone pushes you to take sides this week, you won't take any sides. You will have a more detached position, a more detached attitude, and you will filter situations through a more rational lens, which is actually what is needed at this stage. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, they will now show you more positive feelings, and you will be able to enjoy a connection that's less stressful and more optimistic for everyone involved in this relationship. You will notice that things now will start taking a new course, and you will find that you will agree on certain points, at least more than before. And if there are disagreements and if there are contrasts, you will be more willing to try and find some common ground, because sixes anyway are cards of balance, and that's what they always strive for. The end of the week seems to hold the strongest energy, so make a note for Saturday or Sunday, as that's when things appear to get interesting. For Aquarius, we had the Temperance, and now it's the Queen of Pentacles. The Temperance is a very slow energy, a very slow card. It's associated with patience, with delays maybe, but it's also a card that allows us to combine, to blend different energies, which means that if you and another person were in disagreement, perhaps you tried to find some common middle ground, and perhaps you were more willing to try and reconcile your differences. The Temperance is also the card of alchemy, which means that we try different methods to find the one that works best for what we want to do. Now the Queen of Pentacles is a more grounding and more real energy. It takes things from the realm of thought, of hope, of expectations, and she takes action to make things happen. Pentacles are generally associated with the physical plane and our physical bodies. So physical activities will be stronger this week, more busy, you will be more busy. Sexual energies will be stronger too, and there might be a person in your life who's an Earth, Sun or Ascendant, Capricorn, Taurus or Virgo, who will play a key role this week. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, they do have feelings for you, and you will notice that this week they will be very generous with you. And with generous, I don't necessarily mean that they will give you money, although that could be the case too. So if you are in need of a loan, this is a good week to ask for one. But someone can be generous with their emotions or their time, and if things have been somehow limited before, this week you will experience more abundance in your life, and that's in many ways. And you will see that this person will be more kind, more compassionate, and more loving. So that's a good week for love too. The Queen of Pentacles is a card traditionally associated with career matters, professional matters, financial matters, and this week something of this sort is coming to completion, a project for instance, or you will receive money for a job well done. And the Queen of Pentacles advises you to treat any situation with calm and grounded demeanor. So whatever you have planned for this week, make sure you avoid moves or statements that are too bold, and it's best that you take a rather reserved and at times even conservative approach to things. For Pisces, we had the Knight of Pentacles and now it's the Emperor. The Knight of Pentacles means that there must have been some developments in your life, but a little slow, because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of the Knights. And perhaps you were dealing with a person who's an Earth, Sun or Ascendant, Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn, and there must have been some progress and some developments with them. And the Knight of Pentacles is associated with professional and financial matters, so maybe those areas of your life required your attention and your time. And this week you have the Emperor. Now, the Emperor is a very different energy, and it shows a person in your life who's a fire sign, an Aries most likely, but they can be Leo or Sagittarius. And this person seems to have some power or some control over you. In his positive manifestation, the Emperor is someone who's very protective, very supportive, someone who's a very strong ally by your side. But in his negative manifestation, it can be someone who's very stubborn, set in his ways. But you need to understand that they are not doing that to upset you. They just that it's his way to stay in control. Maintaining control over a situation or over a relationship seems to be very important for this person. However, this week, if you feel that you gave up your power for too long, you will probably want to take it back. Especially if that person makes a decision for you, a decision that may not be exactly what you wish. Taking initiative is the way to take charge now, and if you want to know how something will progress, the energy of this week is saying that this is your time to take back your power and start setting your own rules. If you want to know how someone feels about you, there is attraction and it's strong, but there are also power struggles in your relationship with this person, and it's about who will have their way ultimately, and that will probably cause some contrasts and some arguments. However, the energy of the Emperor can make something more structured, more defined, especially situations that have been unstable and chaotic. Expect that within the coming days you will experience much more stability, and things may get more serious in a professional or a personal relationship. However, first you need to know your own mind, to know what you want, to be certain and to be grounded. This week it will be about choosing your own destiny. It's about empowering yourself to follow your own purpose and your own path. Thursday appears to be a significant day this week, and an older male, a boss or a father figure will play an important role in your life. If you need support, you will have it, and someone will be very protective of you. At times, the Emperor represents your father, so your relationship with your father may require your attention these days. These were the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of October 23 to October 13. I hope you enjoyed them, and I will see you next week. Have a nice and productive week.